Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to your Monday. It is the 10th of February.
It's 8:58. It's set up to 71 now.
Yeah, but that's about as much as it's going to get.
Change, so,
yeah, we got cold weather
So-
coming our way. It's going to be rainy for a few days, but we'll get details from Justin Horn on that coming up in just a minute.
I remember early this morning, she reminded me that Valentine's Day is Friday.
Yes,
I always thank you
and
for
getting
that
a
reminder.
mutual gift for your home with your wife a week before does not count as her Valentine's Day.
My
present.
wife said it did.
No, it doesn't. Sorry. You need to get her candy, flowers, at least a card, something. Just say you love her.
I'll get something.
Okay.
Because I don't want to get in trouble from you and my wife. That'd be
Well,
very
how about,
bad.
why don't you buy her this very unique Martin Luther King handwritten note that's about to go up for auction?
This is pretty incredible. A note written by Martin Luther King was just discovered, and it's basically a love note.
Yes, he explains what love really
What love really is, yeah.
It's believed to be from sometime in the mid-1960s. It's up for sale through the memorabilia company Moments in Time. They think it's going to catch $42,000. So here's what happened. They said it's very rare to have a handwritten note, right? Mm-hmm. Very rare. And apparently, he wrote the note after someone asked him what he believed was the meaning of love. This is what he said. You ready?
Love is the greatest force in the universe. It is the heartbeat of the moral cosmos.
He who loves is a participant in the being of God. That's profound.
And you can see how he signed it.
'cause
Best wishes, Martin Luther King Jr.
He is an incredibly eloquent.
So real quick, here's my question though. It says it's worth somewhere in $42,000. Mm-hmm. Aren't there some things that we discover, that we see, that we read from people like Martin Luther King Jr. and other great Americans that just you can't really put a price on?
I don't think you can put a price on it, and then that's the whole thing. Do you sell it and let somebody frame it and have it in their house, or do you put it in a museum?
I'd put it in a museum somewhere.
That's what I would think too, so everyone can see it.
That's awesome to find that. Pretty
cool. Go. Let's take a look at your rundown. San Antonio native Sergeant Javier Gutierrez is being remembered by the country he valiantly served for over a decade. He was killed during an attack in Afghanistan over the weekend.
Video shows the suspect walking into a police station in the Bronx Sunday and opening fire. One officer was wounded. Officials say the shooting only stopped when the suspect ran out of bullets and dropped to the floor.
Australian researchers say they have found a breakthrough to more quickly contain the coronavirus. Their work will help be able to diagnose infected patients faster and more accurately. San Antonio investigators are looking into a late-night shooting on the northeast side of town. San Antonio police say it all started when a man and a woman showed up at another couple's home on the 500 block of the Mid-Crown, that's near Eisenhower Road. The victims in their 30s were transported to SAMC, where the man remains in serious condition, the woman in stable condition.
Historic launch overnight. The solar orbiter from NASA is now heading to the sun. It's on a mission to capture the first close-up pictures of the polar regions of the sun.
Former Mayor Pete Buttigieg will claim 14 delegates in Iowa. That's according to state Democratic leaders after updated vote numbers and a review of precincts.
Nevada is the latest state to ditch the parallel parking requirement to get a driver's license. The state decided to eliminate the parallel parking requirement to reduce the number of return visits to the DMV.
British Airways now has bragging rights for the fastest subsonic flight between New York and London. The Boeing 747 carrier reached a top speed of more than 800 miles an hour.
And the Oscar goes to Parasite.
All of Hollywood rallying behind the first ever foreign language film to win Best Picture.
Bill Gates has ordered a new yacht reportedly worth $600 million. It will be the world's first hydrogen-powered yacht and will feature a helipad, an infinity pool, a spa, and a gym. It will accommodate 45 guests and crew.
One time to go on that darn boat.
I'm going to call Bill and tell him you would like an invitation.
I'd appreciate that. I know y'all are good friends.
It holds 42 people, so even if he...
It's one more person.
Surely if...
And it's big enough where he wouldn't even have to see me or talk to me. I could probably just get lost on the boat.
You could just sneak on there and hang out in the tub.
It could be a stowaway. On the big giant yacht.
That's not even a yacht. That's just a mini cruise ship.
It might even be a major cruise ship.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's not even mini. That thing's huge.
It's looking a little soupy out there.
A little bit. You look at live cam there. We've got a couple showers coming down here in San Antonio. and we're watching a cold front that's sliding into the hill country right now. We've already got some storms associated with this, so let's get right to the radar, and I'll show you what's going on. As you look up there towards I-10 between Sonora and Junction, there is a severe thunderstorm, so that gives you an idea that the atmosphere is a bit unstable. And this front, you can almost pick it out there. Austin over to Fredericksburg, back down towards Rock Springs. We're seeing showers and storms develop right along that front. That front will continue to slide south through the rest of this morning, and so rain chances will be on the increase. As we look at San Antonio, there's a couple showers here working through at this hour. Most of this is pretty light, but we've got some drizzle out there too. Temperature-wise, we're at 71. It feels spring-like for the moment. But once that front comes through, it does bring about the changes. We'll see those numbers slip into the 50s this afternoon. We could see some 40s in the hill country, cloudy, damp, and cool. So you'll want the coat, even though it doesn't feel like it right now. You'll want it this afternoon. Temperatures fall again into the 50s, 57 by 4 o'clock. We'll put our best rain chances around the noon hour, and then they'll fall off a little bit as we get into tonight. But more rain chances on the way, some good rain chances, and we could pick up some good rainfall totals too. We're going to talk more about that here in just a couple minutes. Guys.
Justin, thank you. Take a look at TransGuide around town with all the wet roads and the rain and the muck and the yuck. Actually, and it's
the muck
Monday.
and the yuck.
It's actually not that bad driving on the streets. No major accidents to talk about.
We like that.
Yeah.
Hey, this just into our newsroom, everybody. An Amber Alert has been issued for a pair of siblings who could be in grave or immediate danger. So please take a good look at these pictures. Dallas police are looking for Jordan and Julian Rogers. Jordan is 7 years old, has brown eyes and long black hair with dreadlocks. Julian is 1 year old and has black hair and brown eyes.
Police have identified 33-year-old Johnny Ray Palmore as a suspect in the case. Palmore is about 5'11", has hazel eyes and brown hair with long gold dreadlocks. He was last seen in Dallas. If you have any information regarding the abduction of these two, you're asked to call Dallas PD at 214-671-4312.
Top stories that we're following for you today. We now know the name of a man killed early yesterday morning in a crash on the city's west side.
San Antonio police have identified him as 24-year-old Ruben Alejandro Cisneros. The crash happened around 3:30 Sunday morning on Highway 90 near Zarzamora Street. Police say Cisneros lost control and then crashed head-on into a wall divider. He was pronounced dead at the scene.
Right now, police are still investigating what led to that crash.
San Antonio Fire Department investigating a fire at a construction site near University Hospital.
Crews responded to the call around 5:30 this morning in the 4500 block of Medical Drive. Officials say construction workers were demolishing an old walkway and a spark from their torch may have started the fire. Investigators tell us that the flames were quickly contained, did not spread to the University Hospital, or did they cause any injuries? Small businesses are the backbone of San Antonio's economy. That's why Leadership San Antonio is hosting a Ramp Up Your Business event this week. Small business owners will be able to engage with other company owners and leaders from across the Alamo City. Now, this includes people from nonprofit organizations, marketing independent contractors, and even people from Fortune 100 companies. Organizers say the event will give small businesses an opportunity to grow their companies.
We're focusing on legacy. We're focusing on building a legacy going forward into this new decade. And so what we've thought is it's more than building a network and building business. It's about contributing to San Antonio. The Ramp Up event is taking place Wednesday at the Maestro Entrepreneurship Center, which is on the west side. It's from 1 to 2. If you would like to attend, you must register online at leadershipsa.org. As you can imagine, it was a very busy weekend for the Democratic presidential contenders. They scrambled from every corner to every other corner in New Hampshire, seeking to gather support ahead of tomorrow's primary. CNN's Karen Kaifa is in Manchester this morning following the candidates.
What's your name?
Neither cold.
Welcome to the warmth. Welcome to the warmth. You got it. You made it.
Nor snow.
I was out yesterday and it was disgusting. And I'm out today and it's beautiful. Love the snow.
Nothing putting a freeze on the final weekend frenzy in New Hampshire. Some candidate events overflowing, packed with solid supporters.
I realize that Warren's America is the America that I want to live in.
Those getting close to a decision.
I'm 95% sure I'm voting for Pete.
And some surprises.
It is Pete, but I can't vote for him because I'm a lifelong Republican and I didn't change my affiliation in time.
As campaigns prepared for their final knocks on doors.
I think you guys can do this. You look ambitious.
New battles brewing between Iowa's top finishers, Bernie Sanders and Pete Buttigieg.
Buttigieg, among others, who have raised campaign funds from over 40 billionaires.
We're going to bring about that change by coming together, not by saying, if you don't agree with me 100% of the time, you don't belong at my side.
And struggling Joe Biden targeting Buttigieg with a sharp new ad and saying,
This guy's not a Barack Obama.
Well, he's right. I'm not, and neither is he.
Candidates further back, their hopes buoyed by the weekend crowds.
Ladies and gentlemen, Andrew Yang!
As the clock winds down toward Tuesday's primary. In Manchester, New Hampshire, I'm Karen Kafa.
9:08, 71 degrees.
Still ahead on GMSA at 9.
And there's only 2 more games before the Spurs All-Star break begins. The silver and black. The silver and black. Definitely. They're desperate. We're all desperate. Max and RJ are coming up with what happened over the weekend. That wasn't pretty.
A St. Mary's Hall student earning an amazing honor. She was published in the New York Times. How she did it and where she wants to go from here, coming up next. And the stock market, it's in positive territory, up just slightly at 55, 29,159.
San Antonio now represented in New York Times' first ever personal narrative essay contest. The challenge called for teenagers to write short stories about meaningful life experiences.
There were over 8,000 entries from around the world. And Maria Fernanda Benavides from St. Mary's Hall was one of 8 winners. Our Max Massey has her story in today's KSAT Kids segment.
I've always wanted to be a writer, so obviously being published in the New York Times is the greatest dream that I could ever think of.
Maria Fernanda Benavides wrote about an experience that had a profound effect on her. It was a speech tournament that left her speechless.
Then I made it to the final round, and as I was walking there, a couple of girls behind me were talking about how the only reason I had found success in the activity was because I was speaking about being an immigrant woman, and I was just using a pity narrative to sort of get diversity points from judges.
Maria Fernandez, award-winning writing for the New York Times, gives readers an insight into her life experiences. Now, she wants to use those experiences to help make a difference, and she's doing so with a self-published book.
And it's called A Summer with the Butterflies. Once they arrive in the U.S., the blank page is a symbol of beginnings for the children at the bus station. The blank page embodies the new adventure that they're about to embark and the possibility of spreading their wings and reach the skies. This is where their story begins.
After spending time with refugee and migrant children at the bus station in downtown San Antonio, Maria Fernanda wanted to help them get through the day by giving them a bunch of art supplies.
But afterwards, when they gave me their drawings as a gift, I decided to put them together in a book so that other people could see their drawings and how their hopeful hearts remain intact even though they've been through devastating situations.
For a lot of writers, finishing the book might be the goal, but not for this author.
So my first goal is to be able to send a book to every member of the U.S. Senate by raising $1,600 on Kickstarter, a project that I just started a couple of weeks ago. And my main goal is just to be able to advocate for immigration reform.
That's just the start, though. Eventually, Maria wants to be able to start a nonprofit of her own, that nonprofit centering around giving art scholarships to refugee and migrant children.
And I share all the drawings of the kids.
And she has some words of wisdom to anyone who might want to make a difference.
Though it might be hard at first and you might think, oh, I'm not old enough or I'm not good enough. You are. It's just a matter of being really passionate about what it is that you want to do and about having the drive and the initiative to go ahead and do it.
Wow, impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, Max obviously joining us now in studio.
You know, to have your name associated with the New York Times, obviously that is still, for most people, the paper of record.
Very
so
prestigious,
associated
huh?
with that, and then to have this book. So how can we get that book?
Well, if you want the book, you can buy it on Blur. We actually have that, and how you can do so right now on ksat.com. But while we were watching, Leslie said it's an amazing story, and it is. The thing that about it was St. Mary's talked to us about the story originally, and they kind of sent us the New York Times, like she won this contest. And by the way, if you have time, you should go and read the essay. It is really powerful. It all centers around her in a debate contest, and basically 2 girls who were competing against her kind of just being not so nice and saying the only reason that she moved on in the competition was because she played on the immigrant narrative and that she got a sympathy vote. And it was very powerful, obviously. But we then were talking to her and she's like, oh yeah, I also, published a book that I want to make a difference. And I was like, that's a huge
She's
deal.
an amazing person. Yeah, and she's got a big heart, you can tell. And I hope she does. That Kickstarter, she's trying to raise $6,000 to send a copy to every Every Senate. I think that's a great thing. So we're almost out of time, but real quick, what's next for her?
So the sky is the limit. We talked to one of her teachers, and she said she could see her being a lawyer, an advocate for so many of these groups. She didn't want to tell me where she's going to go to college. I think she has big plans in the future, so got to stay tuned. We'll tell you what's next.
Maybe she needs to get into the political field, too.
Yeah. She's going places.
Yes,
absolutely.
She is. Very talented. Thanks. That's a great story.
Thank you, guys.
Your story's not so great.
Well, if you like rain, it's good, but it's going to be a rainy go of it next 24 to 48 hours. So let's take a look at the Doppler radar. We've got some showers and storms out there, and this is what we're going to have to watch here over the next couple of hours because we've got a front sinking south. There's just enough energy there where I think we could get some thunderstorms, maybe a couple strong ones. We've already seen one severe thunderstorm up to our north, but you see a couple more storms developing. We've seen some lightning strikes with this, so we're going to have to keep a close eye on the radar. We'll certainly do that for you, but here's a little closer look at the Edwards Plateau, and this is sort of the first area that we'll watch. That frontal boundary is just now south of Kerrville, so it's getting a little bit closer to San Antonio, and we're starting to see a few light showers here. There's some drizzle out there. Roadways are going to be wet. As we look at the big picture here, the reason behind all of this is we've got an upper level low out to the west, so this gives us the lift we need. We've got the southwesterly flow aloft, and we've got that cold front. A lot of ingredients coming together here, and that's why our rain chances are as good as they are. You look at the big picture here, and there's quite a bit of rain right along that front, and then you run into some wintry weather up there across the Texas Panhandle, so they're going to have some more snow. And there is the front as it stands right now, slowly sinking south. There is cooler air behind it. You're going to feel the difference this afternoon. You look at the numbers, and this tells the story. 39 in Abilene, 45 Dallas, 33 in Lubbock, 27 in Amarillo. So it's awful chilly behind this front, and that cool air will eventually work into our neck of the woods. But before that happens, there is that threat of a few strong to severe storms. There is a marginal risk. And when we say marginal, on a scale of 1 to 5, this is a 1, so it's a low-end risk. Gusty winds, maybe some hail. Those would be the main issues if we did see a stronger storm. Outside right now, a lot of clouds, drizzle, still there. 71 at the airport. Dew point is at 68. We're still seeing an east-southeasterly wind at about 7. Temperatures 60s and 70s here around Bexar County, but as we zoom out, you've got 50s. And look, the numbers are just updating as we talk. 64 there in Kerrville. That number is starting to come down as that front moves through. And again, it will have an impact on temperatures. As we look at the forecast temperatures by noontime, we're probably falling into the 60s here in San Antonio. And then by the afternoon, potentially into the upper 50s and then some 40s in the hill country. Still some 70s down to the south, but that front won't quite make it through by the afternoon. So the futurecast, as far as rainfall goes, pretty decent shot of some rain. I'd say midday, noontime with this front coming through. And then by the afternoon, we're going to see a little bit of a lull in the action. So hopefully the evening commute will be a little bit on the dry side, but again, we'll be in the cool air by then. By tomorrow morning, we'll start to see some showers out there. And tomorrow, a 40 to 50% chance of rain. Our good chance of rain arrives Wednesday morning. So this is midnight. And notice we'll get a nice line of showers and storms. This is going to be some healthy rain, I think, early Wednesday morning. By 7 o'clock, most of this is starting to move out. And then by Wednesday afternoon, we'll get some clearing. So forecast for today, 61 by noontime, 60% chance of rain. We'll taper those rain chances off, though, as we get later into today. Temperatures 57 at 4 o'clock. 53 tomorrow, that's it. 40% chance of showers, colder. 60 on Wednesday with a 70% chance of rain, mainly in the morning. And then Thursday, Friday look good, albeit a little cool. Valentine's Day, not so bad. 58 degrees, mostly sunny, and another chance of rain by Saturday.
All right, thank you. Your time now is 9:20, and it's 71 degrees outside.
Also, Bachelor super fans got to interview Pilot Pete about his dramatic season. You won't want to miss that. What are his answers to all those tough questions?
Pilot Pete.
Pilot Pete's got him.
Welcome back. It's 9:23. If you've been watching The Bachelor this season, you know it's been quite the bumpy ride.
A dark cloud of drama has filled up most of the air on that show so far. A lot of that drama centered around a contestant right here from San Antonio.
Our producers Joy Presley and Ariana Cervantes spoke to Pilot Pete to find out if there's love at the end of the tunnel.
Hello, ladies.
Season 24 of The Bachelor has been a roller coaster ride, to say the least. It seems like Pilot Pete just can't catch a break, with more and more drama sparking up every week.
You act like a child. She doesn't act like a child, Tammy. I'm not talking to you, Healthy.
One person at the center of a lot of the drama is former Miss Texas and San Antonio native Alea Benavides.
And I was drawn to her, obviously, and even before I really got to know her really well, I felt something.
When it came to Alea's image, the other girls didn't hold back, which ultimately led to her being sent home.
I was definitely influenced by how the house was kind of reacting towards her, and that was really tough for me. I really struggled with that.
You're manipulative. How am I manipulative?
But Alea wasn't ready to give up just yet. She returned the following week, trying to clear her name.
Shut the front door!
Peter asked her to rejoin the cast, but sent her home again shortly after.
I don't want to have to put you through any more of this. But I think that it's probably time to say goodbye. I gave it a second chance, but at some point, it's kind of like you got to choose between the greater good or the lesser evil.
But Peter says he has no regrets.
Well, I don't think, Leia and I were meant for each other. I do think she's going to make someone very happy one day, and she's a great person.
While the drama has been the center of attention throughout the season, Peter says we're finally going to see some of the love stories start to flourish.
This is where I think it gets really good, and this is my favorite part of the story. And we really do kind of dive into the love of it, and the drama kind of stays, the drama between the women kind of just stays on the back seat, and we don't really look back towards that.
And Peter says the best is yet to come.
Next episode, I make the biggest statement of the season. And big moment. It gets so real now, and I really feel like if you are into the show for the love and that kind of story, I don't think you're gonna be disappointed.
Fangirling over The Bachelor, Oriana Cervantes, KSAT 12 News.
Fangirling over The Bachelor, good one, Ariana.
I like that. Shut the front door.
And lock it.
And lock it. Wow, that's some good drama there. A new episode of The Bachelor airs tonight right here on KSAT 12.
As we mentioned earlier, our producers, Joy and Ariana, were the ones who got to interview Pilot Pete, and they're huge Bachelor fans. They struggled to keep their cool when the interview was over.
Check out the reaction caught on camera. Oh, my goodness.
That was the...
Joy, you're hilarious. Oh, my gosh. That is so funny. Yeah, they're not. Both of them are married, by the way. It's okay.
Apparently, they still have that same kind of reaction when they see Pilot Pete. Hopefully, love will take off for Pilot Pete.
It sounds like it did. And that little teaser he gave us, right?
There's a lot more ahead on GMSA at 9.
San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo is in everyone's mind right now, but Fiesta is also around the corner. Today, a new line of Fiesta Cowgirl boots will go on sale. Details on that and more trending stories.
And the San Antonio Spurs continue their rodeo road trip, and so far, not good. RJ and Max here to break it all down for you coming up after the break. Welcome back to San Antonio Spurs. Are on their rodeo road trip.
You look so excited about it.
And they are headed to a record-breaking rodeo road trip.
4 losses in a row? Is that
4 in a row, 0-4. Mm-hmm. Last year, though, 1-7, which was fantastic. Lost to that Knicks team on the road, which was really embarrassing because it's a really bad team. But this year, we're looking even worse.
Well, last year, they didn't go into the rodeo road trip 4 games under 500, and now they're 8 games under 500. This is now the worst record they've had through 50 games in about 20 years. So this has been pretty brutal. The other night at Sacramento, probably the only winnable game that you see in the rodeo road trip, and once again played pretty well throughout, and then fell apart in the third quarter.
Third quarter, Buddy Hield coming off the bench, a new move for the Kings actually, and he had about 31 points. He's been killing it. Here's the thing, though. We were talking about this GMSA Saturday morning. So optimistic going to the Kings. Like, this could be the game that turns it around. They come back.
How many times have we said that?
Too many this season.
More than once.
All right, RJ, I know last week you had kind of done a little math, figuring out what they would have to do in order to still make the playoffs. So now where do we stand?
Yeah, it's not good. I think they would have to win maybe about 22 out of their last 30 games, and we still have 4 games left on this road trip. I just don't see it happening. I think their percentages now are pretty low as far as making the playoffs. And again, it's just I don't know. They're trying. They're going out there. They're playing. They're giving effort. They just kind of fall apart there.
Just from now on,
just all threes all the time.
This is his logic.
David, analytics Sears.
That's where everybody else does. I mean, there they are right there. Yep. The other night, Sacramento hit 19 out of 35. The Spurs hit 7 out of 24. So the more threes you shoot, the more you're bound to make eventually. You're going to get good at it. So Spurs just need to shoot threes.
My question is, where do we go from here? I mean, you have DeMar and you have LaMarcus.
Right.
What do you go from
Denver,
there?
then Oklahoma City.
I mean, in terms of team logistics.
They break. No.
Well, like
team
you had an
logistics.
interesting thing you were throwing out. Bring some of those Austin players.
Right. Love Keldon. Rookie.
Well, at that
Luka's
point, you're pretty much waving the white flag on the season.
But
I mean,
at what
once you bring in
time-
those guys, and
what
sure,
point do
they
you
may get
hit
to
that
that
white
point.
flag?
I think once that they're kind of really sort of out of it. I mean, they are still 4 games out of the last playoff spot. I just don't think that they're going to do that. It's not the way Pop ever operates to have
he
these
hasn't
young
had
guys
to in
just
the last
thrown
20
into the
years.
fire. He has not had to, but I think if anything, you want to get more time to DeJounte, Lonnie Walker, and Derek White. Those are the guys.
The core that you kind of move forward with.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not a wave the white flag kind of guy.
No.
The question is, though, what do you do with DeMar going forward? Because I think he has a $26 million player option that he has to opt into because no other team is going to pay him $26 million.
And they could
didn't.
have.
They could have done a lot of things.
So they didn't do a thing. So you got to wonder if they're just completely satisfied with what they got. Maybe do some free agent moves over the
Or
summer.
just adjusting
and
to the
hope he
fact that that
stays.
is what they have.
And
Speaking of not being very satisfied, Coach Pop, this was what he had to say after that loss to Sacramento.
As I said before, we have a problem sustaining good play for 48 minutes. You know, the end of the third quarter, last 4 minutes is a great game, and get outscored 17-2 with the second team out there in the last 4 minutes of the third quarter. That's unacceptable. So, you know, those guys got to man up and play better. That's the bottom line.
Speaking of manning up.
Up and
He's really not as critical as he was after that loss, but I think a lot of frustration. We saw DeMar also get ejected in that game, too.
Yeah, he was a little frustrated, wasn't he?
All right, so we have another chance tonight, though.
Back to back,
another chance,
at
yeah.
Denver. At
Another
Denver, it's weird because these two teams went to 7 games last year, and they're in the complete opposite ends of the spectrum this year.
Speaking of manning up, how about the new XFL?
Oh.
Check out some of that over the weekend.
I watched a little bit of it.
Different.
Yeah.
Did you check out some of that?
I did not, and I heard you. I did, and I heard you talking about like the rules are different, the timeout. What's the difference?
Well, the kickoff right there was different. They had the players line up like on the other side's field, and it was pretty interesting. A lot more sideline interviews.
A lot of sideline. I heard a lot of social media come out and be like, we love the XFL because you have a kicker who would botch a kick, you have a guy who would fumble or mess up a huge play, and then right after it happens, you have the sideline interview like, why did you do that?
Wow.
It's right on the spot.
And then there was another interview. The guy came off. He made some great defensive play, and he came off the field. She was trying to interview him, and they kept going back to the guys up in the booth talking, and they wouldn't throw it down to her to do the interview. So when they finally threw it down to her, he had to go back out on the field. She goes, "Hey, I got to work quick. No, I got to go." And so he's running on the field.
I got a job
like,
to do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We'll see you in a minute.
Pretty interesting start for the XFL. I imagine the ratings were pretty good, and it looked like it was pretty well attended. So
What are other changes in rules?
Well, the ratings were better than any of the NBA games or college games, which is impressive.
Faster play, shorter play clock, so the teams are getting up there. It's kind of a lot more geared towards college game, where they're just kind of like moving and moving. There's no huddles.
The first one took like 3 hours. And the only thing they really got to work on is some words we don't want our kids hearing. Kind of got over the air.
They tried to bleep them during because there's so many live interviews.
Yeah.
You're playing the game, and they couldn't hit the bleep button fast enough.
Yeah, so they got to work on that. They got to get that delay thing figured out because
Interesting, though.
There's some football language that we don't need to hear.
Well, I'm hoping tomorrow we get to talk about good stuff with the Spurs.
Yeah.
Cautious optimism.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Deep is that cup of hope?
It's pretty deep.
Okay, good.
I have hope. I have hope that the sun will come out at some point, too. So maybe
do?
not today.
Maybe it would.
Maybe
Not
Yeah,
today.
you can. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Cloudy, sort of dreary right now. We've got a little bit of rain coming down here in San Antonio, but what we're watching is a cold front to our north. This is producing some thunderstorms, and we've seen some stronger storms with this. So that's an aspect that we're also going to have to watch over the next couple of hours or so. Let's get right to the radar, and you can see sort of where that front is. So it lines up Austin over to Kerrville, back up towards Sonora, and you can see where that severe thunderstorm is north of Junction. So there is some instability there. We're not seeing a whole lot across San Antonio right now. That being said, there's drizzle out there, some light rain, and we'll continue to see that in the next couple of hours. Then our rain chances will increase as that front gets a little bit closer. 70 degrees right now in Bulverde, 68 Bernie Sage, 69 Rio Medina, 71 in Hondo. And that's another thing we're going to have to look at, too. The temperatures, they'll be dropping once this front passes by. So 57 by the afternoon. It feels warm and humid out there right now. That does not last. 40s in the hill country this afternoon. And you can see the drop there in the hourly forecast. 57 degrees by 4 o'clock. We'll bring rain chances down a little bit, too, tonight. But they pick back up, especially Wednesday morning. We're going to talk about how much rain we could potentially see. That's coming up in just a couple minutes. Guys.
All right, look around the town. Not too bad, even though there are some wet roads out there and it's all yucky. But the traffic is moving good, which is a good sign for a Monday.
Yeah, it is. Well, let's take a look now at today's Best of Mutton Bus.
Ooh. Stockdale. Come on, Bailey. Hey, the ladies need a little of that hospitality. 4 years old. Wow.
It's a pretty good ride right there.
Those little kids are so cute.
I love it when they get up and they start, and they're dirt all
over
them. And they got to shake the dirt out, and then they just start waving.
Cute. All right.
Speaking of little girls and cute little things happening.
This is one of those feel-good stories you're going to love at home, everybody. A lot of times we get on airlines because they nickel and dime you or whatever. Happy to say Delta did the right thing and reunites this little girl with her daddy doll.
Oh, she lost it on a flight somewhere between Connecticut and Florida. And the reason this doll is so special is you saw it right there. It had a picture of her dad on it, but it also is able to play a message. And so she listens to this message every night from her father, who's deployed overseas. He's in the military, so he's deployed, but there's this little message in the doll, and she goes to sleep by this message from her dad.
She's only 18 months old.
Yeah.
As you said, it has the picture of the dad on it in a military uniform and the recording of his voice whenever she pushes that button. When she realized that she didn't have it, she put it on Facebook and she said, "Hi, I'm Kinley's daddy doll. I go everywhere she goes because her dada is deployed. We're traveling back home and I seem to have gotten lost somewhere between Connecticut and Atlanta." It's not just any daddy doll. I have a special goodnight message that Kinley's dada recorded before he left, and she listens to it every night, as David was saying. I also have red and blue stars on the back. Her mom called and reported me missing to both airports and Delta.
So the search went out, and it went on Facebook, it went on Twitter. Everybody's looking for the daddy doll. And I also read that it was actually a cleaning crew that found the doll on the plane, and then they got it to the people that could get it to her.
Delta actually tweeted out, "We found your doll, Kinley. He's missed you, but don't worry, we are bringing him home." She got her doll back.
They put the doll in a chair, in a seat.
Yes,
and they flew it
home.
And they had a picture of the doll in the seat.
Best story ever! By Friday afternoon, she had her doll back. So there you go. Your time now is 9:40 and it's 71 degrees.
A San Antonio artist created a mural honoring Kobe Bryant and his daughter. Erica and RJ have details on that and more on those trending stories. This is great. Coming up. Welcome back, 9:43, Fiesta boots. Do you ever show your boots when you go to Fiesta?
Of course I do.
Okay. New Kobe Bryant mural and NASA and the European Space Agency are trying to get the first look at the sun's poles. Those stories are trending on KSAT.com this morning.
Erica Hernandez and RJ Marquez join us with all the details.
Hi, guys. You guys ever go to Fiesta Parades? All you ever hear is, "Show me your boots."
Show the boots.
Or just shoes in general.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Show your shoes.
Yep.
Show the
Good
boots.
looking ones now.
We'll get to that in just a second, because these are really cute boots. So, Europe and NASA's solar orbiter rocketed into space last night on an unprecedented mission to capture the first pictures of the sun's elusive poles.
Yeah, while solar orbiter won't venture close enough to penetrate the sun's corona. That's what I was thinking about. How close is this thing going to get?
Yeah, wouldn't it just burn up?
Well, apparently they made it so it wouldn't.
How can you?
Yeah, I know.
anything
That's
that
what's
wouldn't burn
really
up
fascinating. It will maneuver into a unique out-of-plane orbit that will take it over both poles, which have never been photographed before.
The orbiter was made in Europe and launched from Cape Canaveral. Full science operating will begin in late 2021 with the first close solar encounter in 2022 and more every 6 months after that. These findings will help scientists better predict space weather, which can disrupt communication. That's really fascinating,
These are some
though.
really smart people.
So apparently it's taken them years to build this because of all the different instruments they had to put on it to prevent it from heating up the way it would. But apparently they figured out some formula that they expect it's going to
figure it out.
That's
me.
Well, we'll find out.
We'll find out if it works, right?
See if this thing really
It
works.
had a successful launch, so it's a start.
We're good.
Back here at home, a new mural has captured the attention of many here in San Antonio. It's honoring Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gianna.
Yeah, this is really great. Local artist Mike Arguello said the reason behind the mural is that we're not all superstar athletes, but we can all be superstar dads. Yeah, the mural depicts Kobe wrapping his arm around his daughter in a loving embrace.
You can find the mural on the side of the Clippers and Reality Barbershop in Universal City. The artist has another Kobe mural in the works. The artwork will portray a scene of Kobe coaching his daughter in a basketball game and will be located on the storefront wall of Supreme Sports Bar on San Pedro Avenue.
Sweet.
And they're beautiful,
Yeah,
just
that's a really
beautiful.
Good job, too. That's
And there's a few Kobe murals now
That have
around the
popped up,
city.
yeah.
At a couple of different places, so kind of just shows the impact that.
And the respect
Bryant
also
had.
that
Yeah.
they had from
Still
here in San
doesn't feel real.
It doesn't
I know.
at all.
So sad,
Yeah,
but that is a beautiful tribute. Absolutely.
Switching gears here, finally, we're going to talk about Fiesta. Already this year, you can sport these new Fiesta boots.
Yeah,
Show me your boots.
Fiesta boot line, sponsored by the Texas Western Warehouse, hits stores today. The line features a leather boot adorned with a Fiesta 2020 poster and will be available in fuchsia.
Another style featuring the Alamo Riverwalk in flowers and bright embroidery will be available in tan and dark brown. The full leather boots will cost $299 and the synthetic boots will sell at $199. These boots will be sold online and at Texas Western Warehouse's 5 location. Yeah, they're really cute. I don't know if you've seen like a closer look at them, but the embroidery is really well done on them and they're really well designed.
And it makes sense. I don't know why no one had
We
ever
may have to go
thought
find
about
some,
this.
Leslie.
I think we should do
You
that.
got those other ones the other day, so just get some more.
Okay.
And keep
Get
wearing
those
boots.
fuchsia boots.
I will.
You don't have to tell. You don't have to tell lady to go get more shoes.
Yeah,
like we're just gonna go get more shoes.
That's a done deal.
Now to your national days of the week today. Well, you might need it. Is National Umbrella Day. Tomorrow is Make a Friend Day.
Yeah, Wednesday is National Plum Pudding Day. Thursday, Valentine's Day.
That's right. Get
Friday,
your girlfriends.
Valentine's Day. There you go.
Saturday is Singles Awareness Day, and Sunday is National Almond Day.
Valentine's Day?
You've never heard of Galentine's Day?
No.
It's always the day before. It's always the day before Valentine's Day. You get all your girlfriends together. You go have
Single.
dinner and you go have wine and you just celebrate.
So then why do I got to take you out on a Friday if you've already been out on Thursday?
Well, because that's for just the girls, okay,
It's
David?
Galentine's. Gal. Gal friends.
I thought it was
Get it
for
straight.
singles, so it's not just for singles?
No,
Okay,
you're good.
never
No,
mind.
Singles Day Saturday. That's after.
That's Single Awareness Day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but who pays for the Galentine's?
Well, you do. I mean, you go have.
You.
Exactly.
I mean,
Get it
I
straight,
don't
David.
think you're going to get out of it.
Justin, have you ever heard of Galentine's Day?
I have, and David's digging a hole over there. Save him, Marcy. Save him. Doppler radar shows we've got some showers and storms starting to develop here along a frontal boundary, which is sinking south, and it's through Fredericksburg at this point, starting to move through Kerrville, but it's along the front where we're seeing these storms. And there is a possibility there. We can see a couple strong storms through the morning time, I'd say through about midday. So far, we haven't had any warnings in our area, a couple off to the north, but we'll keep an eye on the radar. And I think as this front sinks closer to San Antonio, we'll see some thunderstorms here. A little closer look at Edwards County, seeing some of the stronger storms around Rock Springs, seeing some lightning strikes here in northern Val Verde County as well. Here in San Antonio, it's just some showers right now, a little bit of drizzle coming down. There are some wet roads as you go out through town, and a little bit of fog too, I might add. Visibility's down in a few spots. The reason we're going to see some good rain chances over the next couple days is this thing spinning out over California. That's an upper level low. It's in a favorable position for us to really pump in the moisture. We've got the frontal boundary there, so all the ingredients coming together to where we can get some pretty decent rainfall totals. And as you look at the big picture here across Texas, you can kind of pick out where that front is right there. To the north of it, it is much colder. There is winter weather going on in the Texas Panhandle. So they're getting another round there after getting some snow last week. That frontal boundary will slowly progress south through the day. It will also draw in some cooler air for us. So yes, it feels warm out there right now, 71 degrees, it's humid, but the temperatures will tumble into the 50s by the afternoon. Let's talk potential rainfall. How much rain could we get? And this is just one computer model. We got to take this sort of with a grain of salt, but it gives us a general idea of about how much rain we can expect. And as we look across the area, we're talking half an inch up to 2 inches in some spots, widespread. And as we zoom in a little bit closer, this particular model thinks that Bexar County could see some decent numbers here, maybe 2 to 4 inches. I don't know if it'll be quite that much, but if we could get up to 2 inches, that would be very helpful with our drought situation that we've got underway. Time lapse shows that we've had a lot of cloud cover, a few showers passing by time to time. Visibility is down to 2 miles, by the way. So, yes, there's a little bit of fog out there. 71, as I mentioned, east-southeasterly wind for now. But that does change to a northerly wind later today. There is a marginal risk of severe weather, too. We mentioned that. On a scale of 1 to 5, this is low end. We're talking a 1 here. So some gusty winds, maybe some hail. Temperature-wise, 71 degrees at the airport, 72 Randolph, 69 Canyon Lake, 72 in New Braunfels. As we zoom out, it is cooler now with that front. 63 Kerrville, 57 in Fredericksburg, and that cool air is slowly seeping south. And I think by noontime, we'll start to feel it here in San Antonio, 61, and then by the afternoon, we're talking 50s. There could be some 40s in the hill country later today. As far as the precipitation goes, we've got that line there along the front. And then I think by this afternoon, things quiet down some. That'll probably be the case tonight, too. A few more showers tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be more just sort of a drizzly, showery day. But it's not until Wednesday morning that our rain chances really start to kick up again. And we'll get this storm system moving through. So by 3 a.m. Wednesday, very, very early on Wednesday, I think that's when we'll pick up the bulk of that rainfall that we were talking about. And that moves out by Wednesday morning and then some clearing by Wednesday afternoon. So for today, 60% chance of rain noontime, but those rain chances taper off, 57 by 4 o'clock. And then tomorrow, 53, 40% chance of rain, but a 70% chance Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, 60 on Thursday, 58 Friday, another slight chance of rain by Saturday. We'll be right back. Welcome back. One last look at the radar. You see where the thunderstorms are now across the hill country, Edwards Plateau. We'll see those get a little bit closer to San Antonio the next couple of hours. Have the umbrella. Also have a coat with you because it cools down later today. We'll be in the 50s this afternoon.
Duh. Stupid criminal segment, everybody.
So if you have warrants out for your arrest, I'm not here. I love the police officers, but I'm just going to give you a little tip. You might want to call out for pizza, have it delivered.
Yeah, maybe have it delivered because while on a trip to pick up pizzas for a local archery tournament, a Kentucky sheriff found himself in a very unique situation. Apparently, one of the other customers picking up pizza at the same time was a wanted fugitive.
Yeah. He had 2 outstanding warrants. Now listen to this. He's facing additional charges now, and he has outstanding warrants. He's a felon in possession of firearm.
No.
Convicted felon.
This is going into his additional warrants that are out for him. Not only was he picking up pizza and ran into the sheriff, he had all of this stuff on him, which is additional charges.
Controlled substance, first-degree resisting arrest, menacing, possession of burglary tools, possession of legend drugs. I don't
know, but they're apparently legendary. So yeah, it has all these extra charges. The sheriff's office shared an image. Right there you see it on Facebook of the items. And included what appears to be a camouflage shotgun, several rounds of ammunition, large bolt cutters, and a substance that, as you said, could be drugs. Bye.
Have it delivered next time. See it.